Hey guys, before we get started here, the weird resolution is due to an issue with Shadowplay. I did not have the game open at the full screen settings, so for some reason it messed it up and compressed some things. I went through and tried to fix it, but it became all pixelated, so I just left it as is. Now, I figured I'd talk instead of having you guys listen to that annoying lockbox animation, so here's my thoughts on this lockbox. I only opened 400 because you don't really need to open any even to know that this is going to be a bad lockbox to open. Every lockbox we've had this year has pretty much been bad. There's been only a few exceptions, and really the big one was the undiscovered one, and the only reason people were opening that was for the DPRM console. So, the big prize with this lockbox is the Tzenkethi escort, and it's nothing to write home about. It's pretty underwhelming, actually, especially when you compare it to previous escorts we've gotten this year, like the Miradorn. There's no way this beats the Miradorn. I mean, yeah, you have the new Miracle Worker seat, but the rest of the buff layout isn't that great. You got the Ensign Engineering, Lieutenant Commander Science, and then the Lieutenant Commander Universal / Pilot. So you're forced to choose between engineering abilities or pilot abilities on that seat. You're going to be pretty limited either way. So that's a pretty big limitation. I'm just not a fan of how that layout is, just myself. The heavy weapon on it, we haven't seen any testing on it yet, so we don't know where it stands compared to the other heavy weapons. So there's not much I can say about that right now. And then the Starship trait off of both that and the low-buy battlecruiser were both pretty underwhelming. They weren't anything really to go out and buy. It's not needed. And then the rest of the box, well, there's nothing really there to go crazy about either. Some of these space traits might be interesting. There's that cannon healing one that we'll have to see how much that actually does to see if it's worth it. But it says 10% of your outgoing damage with a cannon or turret once every second will be given to you back as a shield heal to your forward facing. So if you do a 20k hit with a dual heavy cannon or something and it gives you 2k back to the forward facing, I mean, that might be okay. But that's going to really be dependent on a few things. I don't think it's really going to be too impactful on really any escort build. There's that threatening stance trait, which I haven't had much of a chance to mess with yet, so I can't say much about that. But all of these are really cheap already. I mean, I went and picked them all up on holodeck for already around 1 to 2 million per, so you're not going to open the lockbox for them. It just doesn't make sense. You have the weapon packs. Now, I'm not too interested in the weapons, but there's that vanity shield people are going nuts about, which it looks okay on some ships, but it's not worth the heavy premium price it currently has on holodeck. I wouldn't pay more than 50 to 20 million for it. And the weapons themselves, you know, they're a new set of blue weapons. They're not going to be crafted pens. Now, something that a lot of people don't realize is that weapon procs don't matter anymore. Cryptic nerfed them all with Season 13. A lot of us even stopped running coalitions because they nerfed procs so hard that no proc was worth running. I mean, it's really just another set of blue Tetrions, and they're going to be a bit subpar, so I wouldn't bother investing in them. If you really want to go with a Tetrion setup, just go out and pick up some crafted pens. Now, the Lobi stuff. The low-buy torpedo is good. I think the dual heavy cannon and dual beam bank are good if you're running builds for either of those. That would be able to take advantage of those. But the console was the thing that I was most focused on with this lockbox, and I am sad to report that it is extremely disappointing. I was looking at using it for the bonus damage on my cannon boats, if I can talk today, and when I went and tested it, it was not even a noticeable damage increase, so I'm betting that's Cat 1, which was very disappointing. But the low-buy set is mostly good if you are running a Tetrion build because of the amount of Tetrion damage buffs it gives. It helps bring Tetrion up a little because Tetrion for a long time has been pretty far behind when it comes to all the damage buffs, and this set helps make up for that. But if you're just looking at the console or something for your cannon build, just skip it. It's not worth it. And the ground stuff I haven't messed with. The EV suit didn't look like it was going to be worth it over a new car one. And yeah, it just didn't see anything there that was worth buying. Now, there are the research assignments in these, and I'm going to go out and say that those are the best thing, most likely, from this lockbox. You can watch my video I just put out earlier this week on research assignments to see what they can do. But we now have 4 different sets of them for a total of 30 different research assignment missions you can run at a time, which are great for leveling up new characters or getting your spec points done. I've already went out and purchased quite a few of these because when you complete the change, you get dilithium. And that's a nice amount of dilithium you can get, especially if you can get crits on all of them. That's 25,000 dilithium. But anyhow, I think this wraps up what we need for the video, so let me know if you disagree or agree with what I said here. This is simply just another underwhelming lockbox. I'll see you all sometime soon.